Welcome to my house. I'm so happy you're here. When you're in my house, you're safe. And you can just relax. Don't worry about how you look or how you sound or, how you're gonna be perceived. It's all good. I'm more concerned about, what have you learned or realized the last few weeks being in quarantine, and what kind of insights and realizations have you had? The world has changed and so have you. So I live alone right now and I have 2 spoons, a couple of plates, one decent sized fork, and somehow there are always dishes in my damn sink, okay? I love cooking, but I sometimes have issues with washing the dishes. But I'm super grateful to have dishes to wash right now, and that became even more evident after I spoke with my really good friend Christy from Victoria, BC, because she's quarantined right now. She's quarantining with her 2 young children all day, every day, and she's a solo parent. So she shared 3 amazing things that she is doing, that she's kind of learned in the last little bit of how to cope and just really ride this wave right now. It's awesome. I'm gonna wash the dishes and check out this chat, and when we come back, this will all be clean. Welcome to my house. Appreciate it. You're cooking.
Thank you.
I'm drinking my tea. This is fantastic.
Amazing. Welcome to my kitchen of chaos.
Thanks. I want to ask you a couple questions, but tell me the top 3 things that come to your head about the last 3 weeks. Your revelations, realizations, insights, wisdoms. What have you noticed? What have you learned?
Okay, number 1, perspective is everything. That I have a lot to say about that, but I'll just leave it at that. Perspective, preparation has been helpful, and I guess just practicing self-care, which to me includes a gratitude practice. So with perspective, I feel like
can you elaborate a little bit more on perspective?
Yes. I feel like we are just the most entitled generation that there ever was, to feel like we can just go through our whole lives without having to deal with any inconveniences. And I'm not saying it's not insanely inconvenient, and it brings up a lot of feelings for everybody about what's happening right now. But the expectation and the foot stomping and I'm not going to be a whole 2 months in my house or however long, that is such a privilege to complain about. And I think that we forget that, because I don't have to look farther in my own family than my own grandparents, who had to spend not months, years dealing with a world war. Okay, so we are safe in our houses, and not being able to get modern conveniences like going to the online grocery store and having your whole order fulfilled, there's scarcity now. You know what though? It's more okay, I can't get the brand that I normally get, now I have to get this brand. But you can choose to look at it a number of ways. Another person I follow online was saying the other day that she was in the grocery store and she's trying to decide how she's going to feel about stuff, because she goes in, there's nothing on the shelves. And so rather than feeling disparity, she was well, this is going to make it nice and quick for me, because
hey, way to flip it. That's a perspective flip. I like it.
There's not 10 different types of tomato sauce to choose from. I'll just buy the one that's there.
The one that's available. Yo, that's awesome. I love it. So, okay. So from that nugget of people now don't have an array of choices, this is what I'm taking. What, what does that mean for when we come out of this, when we quote unquote go back to normal? I don't know what normal is. I've never known what normal is. And especially ask my parents, they don't think I'm normal anyway, so whatever. But seriously though, like, what does this mean for like consumerism? We're not going to be like, I don't think that we're going to be shopping in the same way after this. What do you think?
You know, I think it is going to change some things for sure. And maybe not just like in terms of like what we're going to lose. I think a lot of people are focused on what we're losing.
Yes.
Instead of like the possibilities that are opening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just watched my 4-year-old daughter do an entire dance class start to finish today in our garage. And like, I don't get to sit in and watch her do her normal dance class because parents are not like allowed to watch. Yeah. But I have, you know, just seen her do like little bits of it for like 2 or 3 minutes. She watched this entire film all the way through with her dance teacher showing all the moves, participated in everything. And she was like, yeah, like cheering along with it. Like to her, there was no, and at the end, she's like, bye. Like there is not a huge difference for her in the experience. She had a wonderful time. She got the same amount of exercise and she felt that social connection, even though it was a pre-recorded segment.
Yes. Interesting. Wow. Wait, you just brought me to another point now. Single life and isolation, loneliness, boredom, you know, lack of connection. Do you think this is bringing people closer or further apart? I mean, we're physically supposed to be distancing, but what are you seeing and feeling?
I think it's showing both polarities. Because I think a lot of like for most people, like for you, you know, but like not everybody would know that I'm a solo parent. Yeah. So I'm the only grown up that I'm in contact with right now, other than like digital.
I love how you said that. I'm the only grown up. Yeah.
Like, think about the realities of that for a minute, though, you guys, because like I'm a 4-year-old who's talking right now, and that does not stop like all day, which is fine. I have a lot of social opportunity in this moment, and being home with her all the time.
Yeah. Wait, and you have a baby. Wait, you have a 4-year-old?
And I also have a baby. Yeah, 7-month-old baby. Yeah, 7.5. She's almost 8-month-old now.
Wait, so all day, every day?
All day, every day. There's no break at all. And I'm also an entrepreneur, so I'm also like managing my business, which has just collapsed due to nobody's marketing during this time.
You said due
and due to
due
to the fact
it sounded like
due to sounds like shit. Yeah, well, it should sound like shit because it's pretty shitty.
Hey, at least we can laugh. At least you can laugh.
Totally.
I'm laughing with you, not at you. I love you so much.
Right? And so it's just, yes, okay, Raj, and I've said this to you before, that one of, like, we've had so many, like, soul growing and nourishing conversations. And one of the times was when you were like, well, dude, I mean, maybe you just have to figure out how to thrive in the chaos. And I was like, yeah, good one. Like, what does the next step look like for doing that? Because like I am really trying to, but it's not coming together. And that was while I had childcare for like 40 hours a week. Now, oh my God, like I was complaining then, and now I don't have any time ever. Everyone's like, this is the best time for introverts. Well, I am introverted. I never get any time alone. Never get any time alone now.
No, I don't know, man. I give it up to you. Like when my niece and nephew were like really young, like they were both like, they're only 2 years apart. So I think Jaden was like 4, Rhea must have been like 2. And I was babysitting them, and I had them for the morning, and I was just like, oh my God, what time are you coming home? To my sister, because I was like, this is so hard, man. You have to like think about what you're gonna do with them all the time. And yeah, so anyway, I bet you parents are
like and also people don't think about like certain things with like solo parenting. Yeah, like for me to go to the grocery, okay, so I'm not a Costco shopper personally, but for example, the new policy that Costco just put in, that now you can only bring one other shopper with you.
Right.
So I have 2 small children. Yeah. I can't go to the store then because I have 2 small children, right? Like
they didn't turn you away.
I'm not a Costco shopper. I don't have a Costco card. So
Yeah,
but I saw that and was just like, holy, like, are other stores going to impose this as well? And like, what will that mean for my family? Because I actually, other than relying on really good neighbors and friends who've been thoughtful enough to ask me and to go and grab a few things here and there, like, there is no other way than for me to go to the store, because there's no pickup times or delivery times anymore available. And I've been doing all my groceries pickup and delivery for the last like 8 months. So I was already using that service. Now everybody else is, and now I can't use it anymore because they're never available.
By the way, what did you make tonight?
Oh yeah, so I'm thinking about making a little cooking segment to do this next time, because I just made a butt ton of food, which is one of the ways I cope with this chaos.
Good for you.
So I made like 2 casseroles that can be frozen that have stuff my kids and I can eat. And then I made like sort of a Mexican, it's like ground turkey with some veg, corn, black beans, and all that stuff. Yeah. And I either use that to make quesadillas with for my kids, or I make Annie's mac and cheese and like throw that into it, because I just don't like doing just carb loading with that only mac and cheese. So it helps me deal with my mom guilt when I'm like, okay, it's again tonight, you guys. This is why I think I should make a show on this, because maybe some people want to know. So I'm going to show you now like how much shit I just made.
What?
Doesn't look like much there, but it's like, okay, so there's 4 of those, so that's 4 different meals. Plus this is a double one for quesadillas, and then these 2 casseroles.
Awesome.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meals. Yeah. Probably 8 meals, because there's actually enough to make 1 more of those little ones.
Yeah. So what do you do when you feel that like that pang inside of like, oh shit, I should be working on like your passion project, but like, should I just chill and watch this movie with the kids? Like, how do you deal with that?
I don't often feel compelled to chill and watch a movie with my kids. I might put a movie on for them and then go chill by
That's
myself.
your time. That's finally your time.
That's my time.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of screen time here, so like if a movie's on, I'm like, this is like the 90 minutes that I'm gonna get all day. Pretty much.
Okay, any advice for any other single parents or solo parents out there during this specific time?
I think lowering our expectations goes a long way. Like the perspective thing, it's easy for anyone, but I think there's a culture of it around single parents in general, like the whole single mom. Like one guy, I went to a psychologist before I decided to become a solo parent as part of the required process.
Right.
And he said to me, he's like, don't call yourself a single parent, because there's a victimhood that comes along with that. Call yourself a solo parent because you're choosing to do this on your own, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So I think like choosing to feel empowered and knowing that like, not only have we personally been through harder times before, but like all kinds of people all around the world go through harder times than this all the time, and they figure it out in the end. So when you're in it, it feels so overwhelming. And I'm not saying like, I have had my own challenges and my own like meltdown moments this last week. I'm not always like high vibe. I sent you a big long WhatsApp earlier this week, just like so like low vibe and just feeling like this whole thing was kicking my ass. But it's not that those moments aren't going to happen. It's just when they do happen, acknowledge it, see it. Okay, I see this feeling. Here's some space. Let's feel shitty tonight. That's great. How's that working for you now? Enjoying that? Okay, are we ready to move on from that now?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then just choosing a new way of looking at things, because otherwise it's Groundhog Day every day, especially with small kids. Like you just wake up and it's like, oh my God, everything's fragmented, little amounts of time. They can't hold their attention with an activity, the naps and stuff, and not being able to even just get out into nature. Cause it's like, by the time you feed everybody, get everybody ready to go, it's like, oh, it's like
it's 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Maybe. Like, yeah. Anyway, so
amazing.
I think just like having a sense of humor, embracing it, and like perspective, man.
That's what's
and preparedness, because when you don't have to cook dinner at witching hour.
Yeah. And what's the last one? It was perspective, preparedness, and you said your last insight or revelation?
Self-care, which is something I'm really grossly failing at today. Maybe I look a little business on the top, but it is a party on the bottom, you guys.
Yo, I put makeup on today, okay? And I washed my hair, and yeah, last night I felt amazing to wear makeup.
I did not, because I did not
You
know
look
that we were going to
awesome.
be doing this until 20
No,
minutes
and I want to thank
before.
you. Yes, so this is great. You're my second person to come into my home and have a chat. I really appreciate that, and thank you for your flexibility and impromptu-ness, and just, hey, we're moving at the speed of spirit right now, and sometimes spirit goes real fast and sometimes goes real slow. So it's all good, and we're
Yeah,
just
girl.
gonna keep going. So thank you so
Pull
much.
a card for me from your new deck, because
Yes.
I saw you with your deck there.
I love this deck, by the way. The Gaia deck is beautiful. So let's pull a card for Christy. Okay. Okay. Well, what does Christy need to know right now? Zen garden, inner sanctuary.
Ah,
Ooh,
see,
maybe
that's
go
a good
back
one.
to
And
it.
for single parents too, because I think that's a big thing that it's teaching us, is like everyone's like feeling so disconnected, but it's like, no, because you need to like connect
Yes.
with your damn self.
Yes. I love it. Awesome.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you
Hey,
so
buddy.
much. And you can see yourself out, because I'm going to keep this this
All right.
room open. Peace. Love you.
Bye.
I really think that she's right about the whole perspective thing, and remembering that there are multiple ways of looking at any situation. We are multifaceted beings, so it's a really good thing to remember. Christy's such a badass. I've known her for over 5 years now, and it was actually with her in Victoria over brunch where we came up with House of Raji. And it was because I was working for a network at the time. I was very frustrated because, you know, I had to be careful about what kind of opinions I put on the internet, because I was always representing a company. And I was like, man, I just wish I had a home online where I could put my poetry, my videos, my opinions, and no one can say anything because it's my home. And she's like, whoa, your house on the internet, House of Rock. So that's how it started. So good. And I love it, and I'm super grateful for her. She's doing some amazing work in the healing realm. She has an awesome website called A Little More Hope that I highly recommend you check out. She's also a dope-ass designer, graphic designer, and you can connect with her on Instagram. On the next episode, I am talking to another really good friend of mine named Nature. He's like a soul brother to me. So Nature and I are talking about nature, actually, Mother Nature, and who is Mother Nature, what is Mother Nature, and we get into some other deeper conversations. And he actually shares a really intimate story about seeding the land. So you have to tune in to hear that story. I think you're gonna like it. Okay, so as you can see, my kitchen is clean. Yes, I did it. It's about to get messy again because I'm making juice. Yes, I love juice. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your attention, and I will see you next time. Bye.